I think a lot of the stock market going down was because of a really bad 4 years that we had. Financially, we'll be stronger than ever before. I think the markets are going to soar when they see what's happening. And I want to tell you, there's tremendous optimism out there about our country in terms of regulations being cut, in terms of taxes being cut.
Yep, there you go. Joining us now to talk about all this, John Carney, Breitbart Finance and Economics editor, co-author of the Breitbart Business Digest, and my very old and dear friend Steve Forbes, chairman and editor-in-chief of Forbes Media. Gentlemen, welcome back. I'm calling it the Russia hoax on the economy because there's so much fake news going on. Now, I'm not saying everything's perfect in life, but basically people ought to step back and maybe A, look at some facts, and B, let his policies germinate and get legislated. John, you're writing in the Breitbart Business Digest the improvement already in manufacturing and factories, which nobody else is writing about. And so I quoted you this morning, on Big Money, and once again here.
Yeah, look, the JOLTS report was really good. We hadn't seen any increase in job openings in manufacturing. It was just going down and down and down until the latest numbers, which is end of January, so Trump coming into office, showed the first improvement since September, the first real improvement since August. Hiring also increased, so it wasn't just job openings. The ISM and the S&P Global numbers show that manufacturing is growing for the first time in 2 years. And this is totally, as you said, being ignored as people say, oh no, tariffs have scared everybody, the economy's melting down. That's not what the data is telling us.
Yeah, Steve Forbes, do you think there's a recession coming?
I don't think so. But the key thing is, we say it again and again, and I think we have to hammer it home because I see Congress dragging its feet again, is get that big, fat, beautiful tax cut bill. Right. And especially adding reductions in the tax rates, take that 22 and 24% bracket, reduce both to 15, so we get rid of this thing about SALT, and to have a real big bang tax cut. It's not enough just to renew what we had in 2017, not enough just to do tips and Social Security, great though they are. We got to make it huge. And then I think we'll avoid a recession.
By the way, the other thing that's huge in that bill, and which people are not talking about, but Trump said it and Scott Bessent said it, 100% bonus depreciation, immediate expensing for machinery, equipment, and factories. That is huge. And then, of course, made in America, you get a 15% corporate tax rate, which Trump told that to the Business Roundtable CEOs. It went largely unreported. But that is something that they favor quite a bit. Just on this last point, you know Ira Stall's a great columnist, yes. New York Sun. Now he's on his own Substack. He's a very smart fellow. Actually, he's a Democrat or a conservative Democrat, I think, but whatever. He said that the Republicans, you know, instead of doing a CR that basically is the Biden baseline, why didn't they run the tax cuts right into the CR? And I hadn't thought about that. But why not? They could have done something with tax cuts in the CR, couldn't they?
Well, you'd think, especially after the election, they'd have sat down and said, all right, here are the obstacles. Here's
That's right, yes.
And figure out ways around it. Like, I didn't know you could get around the CBO by going first and they have to respond to you rather than the other way around. Yes. And so that should have been already done. So it should have been from day one, before we even heard the word tariff, big new push for a big fat tax cut. Now they're talking about May, June. No, what Trump should do is call up, let's have a meeting this weekend. We're going to write the bill. They've already done the work on the tips and things like that. Write the bill, and the White House go push it. Congress can get it through, and let's be done with it. So we get a matter of weeks instead of this thing of lackadaisical. We got all the time in the world. No, you don't.
No, you're right. And this Ira Stall makes that point. They really weren't ready. They should have been. And they were ready for a lot of executive orders, which on the whole were very good, but they weren't ready with a clear tax legislation. So that's an interesting point.
One thing you just brought up that I think is really important, the depreciation for factory building and the 50% tax rate for manufacturing is very important, because we are actually asking big businesses to do something very important, which is move production into the United States. That will be costly. They will have to invest a lot in building factories. The success of the Trump economic program will depend on their ability to do this. If we do not allow that to happen, and a huge part of that is how much it's taxed, another part is going to be getting rid of a lot of the regulations that prevent that from happening, then the program will fail. We need to give these tax incentives to do this right now. If we wait, we are going to delay the reshoring from happening, and it might not happen at all.
No, it's an important point.
And another hopefully good problem is labor shortage, skilled labor. We've got to work on that too. And again, you have to have a lead time to get that done.
Well, look, it reduces the incentive effect, very important, but it reduces the tax cost of what they're doing. That's so important. It's like the interest cost and the tax cost go together. And now, can I ask you another point you made in the digest? The now unreliability of Canada as a trading partner. Now, this very sophisticated point, but this guy Ford in Ontario would have not cut off, but 25% surtax on electricity.
He threatened to cut it all off.
All right. And so that's the kind of thing, it's like dirty pool. And of course, this chap, Mark Carney, who may or may not win the general election, but he may. I mean, he's a very liberal, left globalist kind of guy. He's a Trump hater for sure. I mean, I talked to him when I was in the White House, and I can tell you way back then, I'm sure it's worse now. So all of a sudden, Canada looks, you're right. So we can't rely on them, things like steel and aluminum that might go into defense production, or for that matter, energy. I mean, that's not a small point that you're making.
Right. When Trump first put on the metals tariff, people said, why do you need to tariff Canada? We could buy whatever steel we need from them. You don't need a domestic aluminum industry, just buy it from Canada. Canada showed us that they are not a reliable supplier of what we need in the U.S., that when it is in their interests, and I don't blame them for this. If I were Canada, I would be Canadian first as well.
No.
And but that just means that we have to do it here at home. We cannot rely on Canada to supply us with steel, because if they disagree with our domestic or foreign policies, they could cut us off just like they tried to with electricity.
And then last point, one thing, Steve Forbes. We're going to talk about the Elon Musk derangement syndrome later in the show. But here's the thing. When I interviewed Musk on Monday, so one key point is that his waste, fraud, and abuse savings will be rolled into a big rescission package, which will go into only needs simple majorities in the House and the Senate, 51 votes in the Senate, for example. In other words, we've had GAO studies in the past about waste, fraud, and abuse up to $500 billion plus, for example. We just had another GAO study. It was about $140 billion. But they've gathered dust on shelves, and they never really wound up becoming budget cuts and lowering the budget baseline, canceling the checks, if you will. And this will, for the first time. Now, if you take the spending, let's say as a share of GDP, from roughly 25% under Biden with his $2 trillion deficit, you take that back down to, say, 20% of GDP, and you cut the deficit in half or even slash it by 2/3. I would argue that's good for lower inflation and good for economic growth. But I don't see anyone making that case, or virtually no one making that case.
Well, again, gets to how do you make things happen? And this 24%, just remind ourselves historically, back in 1929, before the Great Depression, when we were the biggest, most sophisticated economy in the world, 3% of GDP was the federal government.
Yes.
I mean, so there's a lot of work to make up.
How stupid is that point?
And in terms of growth, you've made the point time and time again, we all have. You get to 3.5%. A lot of these insoluble problems, suddenly you have time to do them and do them sensibly.
All is not bad, but I don't know, it's a lot of fake news out there. John Carney, Steve Forbes, thanks both of you.